What's up, everybody? I'm Roadblock, and we are on the free-to-play account. We have a lot to talk about today. It's update day. A lot of new stuff came out, so I want to talk about that, and I also want to talk about this fragment summon and um, the new. I had to find the right words. Sorry for the delay there. The High Mother Maud stuff. Maud. I don't know. Um. Okay, so let's talk about this first. We're here, right? I know that I don't really care about Bovos. I'm just gonna start exchanging stuff here. I don't care about Timid on this account, right? Gwendolyn's good, but I don't think I would ever like get her. Strategos, don't care. Zinogre, right? Ugir, don't care. Can't get rid of Sirsha. So those are all of the fragments that I'm able to exchange. 18 chests. I'm going to open up 10 here. Now, on my main account, I opened up 10. I got 11 fragments. That seemed like a reasonable deal. Let's see what we get here. Wow, it is extremely RNG. But hey, oh, we got a feast. Let's go. Let's freaking go. We got a feast. Obviously, a legendary book as well, but that feast, dude. Uh, I don't know that I'm prepared to use it at the moment. I'm just looking. I got to remember exactly how feasts work. um, no, so it's not that. It's upgrade rank, right? So upgrade rank, if we did like... So if we did Lady Annabelle, it will instantly take this champion to rank 6. Okay, that's what I thought it did. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Just debating internally of who I would want to use it on. I'm going to think on that. I'm not going to make a rash decision right now. We got a feast. We'll think on it. No fragments for the champion. Only 3 fragments. Obviously, that sucks. That's frustrating. I was hoping that the odds were a little bit better than what everyone was saying, and they're not. But I still stand by my statement. Now, I did have a comment about... let me see if I can have it pulled back up here. I did see a comment about, other free-to-play players thinking that this is bad. Too long to get the champions, kind of like the player and points champion, which I agree with that. By the time you get them, they're not relevant for any content. I completely agree. I'm not saying that champions should take this long. I'm saying that the champion takes this long. And the reality is you can be mad about it, and or you can look at the plus side. I mean, I just got a feast. I have a mission right now that's really holding me up, right? I can just go fix that. Take somebody to 6 stars, ascend them, don't even have to level them. Don't have to grind, don't have to do anything. I mean, feasts are really good. I don't know what they're... I don't think they have a base price in here. For feasts. Yeah, they don't. But they usually, in deals that offer feasts, they're usually valued pretty high. I don't have any examples right now, of course, but and a legendary book on this free-to-play account. I mean, I'm happy about it. I understand. I completely understand the frustration, but maybe it's because I've been playing the game for so long, but I don't look at the game necessarily in terms of champions, right? Unfortunately, I can't back this up with this account. And what I mean by that is I've pulled champions that are known to be good, right? The account is very stacked, and I would have loved to have been able to show like, oh, how do you make things work with Soul Bond or Fenshi, right? Remember we were struggling with Fire Knight, and it was like, okay, well Fenshi's the answer, and then I go ahead and pull an Allure. Like this free to play account in particular is kind of hard to represent what you can do with underused, underwhelming characters. Um which is disappointing, right? That's what I really wanted to be able to show you guys. It's like, oh, well, check this out. This is a somewhat unused champion, but they're good for this X content, right? Um, I just want to remember what High Mother Maul does because I know I forgot last time. Yeah, so she has Doom Priest's passive with a revive on all allies, which is one of my biggest frustrations when I put Doom Priest in content for this. Like if I'm doing Hydra and it's like I need a cleanser, I don't have one left. They're all been used in other Hydra, right? And I'm like, I'll use Doom Priest, and then I no longer have a revive for my squad, and I just have to count on the healing out of Doom Priest, and that's unfortunate. Then you get the buff extension, or sorry, decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs, then increase the duration of all ally buffs. I did. I was like, yeah. And then a heal of this champion's like this is a good champion. I understand people wanna hate on it. As somebody who is completely lacking supports, okay, not lacking, but as well on this account, I'm lacking supports. I'm lacking a healer on this account. On my main account, I feel like I'm low on supports quite often. Um, this champion would actually be really good for my Hydra team. I would get a cleanse every turn. I would get a revive if I need it. I get buffs that I may need. I get healing and then also decreasing enemy buffs, which is very powerful. And here, this I don't care. The A1 is an A1. I mean, you're not, I'm not all that worried about it. So I understand that concept. I understand where, the value of champions is great, but you also have to remember the game that we're playing, right? This is Raid Shadow Legends. Um, and I'm playing free to play. I'm not going to get all of the champions in the game. Like for example, on my main account, I'm having a hard time getting Necmo Thar, right? I may never get him. I may quit playing this game and move on to something else before ever getting Necmo Thar, and so I have to make do. I find other champions to kind of fill those roles and make do with. I'm not necessarily saying that you need to make do here in this case, but it is important to understand from a free to play perspective, this didn't exist yesterday or 2 days ago, right? None of my plans for the game were revolving around using the fragments that I've collected and getting a legendary champion. All those fragments that I got accidentally just doing content in the game, doing, you know, doing dungeons, doing champion training, winning. Most likely, most of them probably came from Arena, which we'll talk about here in a second. So it's so easy to look at the negative and say they put another champion in there that I'm never gonna get. It's gonna take me forever, and by the time I get her, I'm not gonna need her. Well, I would say hold on there for a second because my account doesn't need a lot of champions. This is one that I could use on my main account. Um, and that's saying something. I literally just on my stream last night while I was waiting to get the takeover started, I was talking in chat about how there are no. I'm not going to pull sacreds anymore unless it's a double legendary event. I'm not pulling during 2x. Sorry, my allergies are acting up. The reason I'm saying that is because I just want more chances at Nekmothar. I want to save for when they do progressive chances on Nekmothar. It's really the only him or Kymar, right? So pulling during 2 times legendary chance events. I mean, we saw what the results were in that video. They were very disappointing, not great. Pulling Razin, who is fusible in the game, and I already had, and then pulling a duplicate Calvalax. Like, I just want to increase the numbers of legendaries I pull. But my point is that, like I just said, Doom Priest is very good on my account, but fails me because she doesn't have a revive. This is a Doom Priest with a revive at the base form. Oh, and then also a big giant heal, and removing debuffs and increasing your buffs. All traits that are desired for Hydra, which is an area of the game that I'm progressing in. So, uh, it is a great champion, and I would love to be able to get it sooner rather than later, but this changes the game quite a bit. So let's transition from that into how it changes the game by talking about the current fusion. So this is the game plan for the current fusion. I'm not happy. I'll be straight up with you about that. So we have 55 points, 55 fragments from tournaments. We have 40 fragments from events, and then we have 15 in a Hero's Path event. Then there's 20 from winning tournaments. You can get 10 from winning the champion training tournament. You can get 10 from winning the champion chase tournament. Okay. So if we take the tournaments out of it, we've got what? 55 and 55, right? 40, 50, yeah. So if we take the tournaments out of it, we have a chance to get 110 fragments. The summon rush is 15. So I either win a tournament or I do the summon rush. I'm not doing the summon rush. I don't know that I can do this event. Also, Hero's Path with champion fragments. I have no clue what that means. Now, I'm going to make an educated guess that this Hero's Path will be a combination of summoning shards. I hope if they make this Hero's Path summoning soulstones again, no dice. I'm out. I think it's going to be, because it falls in line with this champion chase, pulling shards and also a dungeon divers. The reason I think that is because there is no Dungeon Diver 3 event. So the Hero's Path would take the form of that Dungeon Divers event. I got to tell you, I'm really upset. And I'm borderline saying, like, hey, I'm not going for this. Because we don't know what the it's so infuriating to give us an unknown in the mix here. But what I was gonna say is that on my main account, for example, what if I did the summon rush and I did the champion chase and I acquired the 110 fragments, well, then I get something for those 10 extra fragments. So I just kind of wanted to point that out, right? And say that there's now reason for me to do all of the events instead of saying, "Oh, okay, I can do summon rush, I can do champion chase. I'll skip the third artifact enhancement event and the second artifact enhancement event, and then I'll just, be done." It's like, oh well, I can actually use those fragments now. I have a use case for them. God damn. I don't know. I don't know. I want to look at the champion in game as well. That's right. Cooldown reduction on the A1. A cleanse, which we need. And a shield. And turn meter fill. That's important. A single target revive. And a turn meter decrease. So it's important to think about where I want to revive. So, areas of the game that I'm reviving champions: Arena and Hydra. You could argue that I revive champions on Clan Boss as well. It's pretty fast speed aura. No, same speed aura as Deacon. I'm not gonna go for it. I'm sorry guys. I feel like I'm letting you down. I was so excited to go for this, but this is really upsetting. Um, I'm I'm pretty upset. So the problem for me is forcing me to do both. We already gave up all of our sacreds, and I don't regret that, right? I mean that's part of this. I don't think that White Queen will be good enough for my account to do this event since I can't skip the stuff I want to skip. So here's what will happen. Okay, here's what will have to happen. I'm going to say I cannot do the summon rush. I'm giving up 15 fragments. Keep in mind, we don't even know that we can win the champion chase. We don't even know that we'll be able to get enough points in the champion chase to get the fragments. So keep that in mind. But right out the gate, I'm saying I'm giving up 15 fragments in the summon rush. That leaves me with 95 fragments. I need to make up 5 fragments somewhere. Well, how do I make up those fragments? I have to win a champion training tournament or a champion chase tournament. I'm not going to win the champion chase tournament. So I have to win the champion training tournament. That means all out grinding on this account, using all of my energy that I would also need later to do Spider, to do Dragon, to do Ice Golem. And I could still lose. All to get 10 fragments for a legendary that is good, and will help my account, but I could also pull another. I mean, we're we're sitting in a good spot on the account, and I think the costs are too great here. I know that here, the big issue is the summon rush and the champion chase. I know that I could do it if I was participate in the summon rush. I know I have the energy, I have the silver. Well, maybe not the silver, but I'd get the silver from doing all these dungeons and stuff. Plus, I have way too much gear right now, right? Like I need to sell some of this crap out. So, um, like I have silver reserves, you could say. So, but I can't I I won't do the summon rush. And yeah, I mean I got burned a little bit, I guess, but I mean we got really good, not really good, but Vargal is good for my account, and then I think I pulled, what did I pull? Neldor, right? And Melga. So I don't know, guys. I really don't. But I'm definitely, I'm gonna say right now I will keep giving you guys recommendations on how to do it if you want to go for this fragment summon, but there's too many unknowns, and I don't want to invest all of these resources and time only to have wasted it. And I honestly, I think I'm gonna tell you why I'm the more and more I think about it, the more and more I don't regret pulling my sacreds during the 2x, because I don't think that White Queen is necessarily worth 6 sacreds. And we still may get Newt 2.0 or Python 2.0 or something better down the line. So, you know, I have to think of this as a free to play player. My resources are finite, and I think the right call here is to wait. Now, I mean, that's the whole reason I pulled the shards in the first place, right? I was like, I'm gonna pull these because I didn't think White Queen was necessarily worth saving my sacreds during a 2x. Well, hopefully going into the next fusion, which will probably be a traditional fusion, I'll have more information going into that and maybe save whatever sacreds I earn between now and then. So I'm not going to go for it. This may be disappointing. Of course, I am sorry, but it doesn't make sense for me. However, I will continue to try and give you guys guidance on what to do and how to go for it. Uh, First things first, don't start today. All right, if we bring the calendar back up, Friday, when the Dungeon Divers starts, that's when you start doing Fire Night. What you can start today is Classic Arena. Get your Classic Arenas in. I'm going to do that. I'm still going to try and get fragments where I can. I'm just not sacrificing all of my resources. Um, I'm going to think about where to put that feast. It kind of makes sense now to do Yannicka and completely free Kale out from the PvP scene, because I think Yannicka's gonna smack harder than either the other nukers that I have, and she's a spirit champion. So the feast may be saved for. Eh, I mean, how many food? Yeah, I don't need. Yep, I've got 4 food ready to go. So maybe I don't, maybe I use it on a newer kind of lower like a champion that's going to take a lot more time and energy, right? Because like to get Lady Annabelle to 5 stars, I need to feed this food, and then I need to level her up, and then feed her food, right? But I could just throw a feast into her and have her ready to go. Not to mention, I don't know how close we are on the Doom Tower reset. Still got a week, but as we approach the Bommel, which I don't know if he's next rotation or not. I'd have to look, but Lady Annabelle's value goes up quite a bit. So I don't know. I'm glad we got the feast. We're gonna figure out who to use that on. It may just make sense on Yannick. It saves me 5 food that I could then use also on Lady Annabelle, right? Or Soul Bond even. Um, we will see. I still need to kind of think on that and figure it out. But not going for the fusion. I knew that was a possibility when I pulled those shards, and unfortunately, Plarium is continuing to put these behind significant hurdles that are making it harder and harder for free to play. So, on the plus side, though, there is value in this fusion, or fragment summon rather, for free to play players because you can farm up stuff to open these chests. And that's what I would recommend doing. I would say, like, anytime you can double dip. What I won't do, I'm not gonna spend my reserves. Right? I'll keep saving these potions. But I can spend the energy that I have and the natural energy that I gain playing the game and get as far as I can in the dungeons during these events. So I'm still going to be kind of participating in it, I guess you could say, right? Doing arena, doing my dungeon runs, farming gear, and just trying to get what I can out of the fragments, but not going to do the summon rush, not going to do the champion chase. I will pull shards during the champion chase because it'll be a 2x on voids, but I'm not going for to win it or to get the fragments. I'm just going to pull what I have during a 2x, as I've always done on this account thus far. So, yep, that is everything. I'm going to call that a video. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm sorry that I'm not gonna go for the fusion, but I do think it's probably better to wait and see what the next one may be. Hell, I might even save a feast for that reason as well. Where am I at on the permanent fusions? Still a couple. So we're 1, 2, 3 rares away from fusing rosin. Well, that's interesting. I may hold on to that for a future champion chase during a future fusion. And maybe keep holding on to Yannicka as well for a future fusion or fragment summon that may be better than White Queen. I'm not saying White Queen's bad. I'm just saying that I don't think she's worth the effort. I don't think she's worth the challenge given the challenge they're putting in front of us. This Hero's Path thing, that's got me upset because we just don't know. I don't like having unknowns in the middle of a fusion, right? I don't like this could be buried behind. We just saw the kind of Hero's Path stuff they did, right? The kind of grinding you had to do in champion training, right? So imagine the kind of grind they're gonna put on this for dragon and for farming artifacts, it's not been friendly in the past, and I suspect it won't be now. So, and that's 15 fragments that can't be skipped. Um, so yeah, I think the most recent event was a little nicer. This one is not nice, and I think that they need to change that, or else I think people aren't gonna participate. I know, obviously, I'm not. I may be the only one that says like, "Oh, this is too hard," but I don't want to waste my resources. I want to play this game smart. That's what you got to do to play free to play. You got to embrace the long game. So I've ranted and raved enough about it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support. We have been getting so many subscribers over the last couple of days. It's kind of blown my mind a little bit. We're up to 781. We're getting oh so close to 800. Um, Obviously the ultimate goal is 1,000. Once we hit that, that opens up a lot of avenues for me on the account. So, if you enjoyed this content, if you're excited about my free to play series, I'm going to be doing more stuff on my main account here soon. I'm progressing new areas of the game now that I have not previously done progression in. So I kind of want to share that experience with you guys. So keep an eye out for that content. Uh, all right. Well, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.